Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
I think love is the answer to everything as well. Love and compassion and justice and fairness, and which are all aspects of love.
The most important question anybody can ask is, what would I do and love every day, even if I were failing?
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
And the reality is, life here on Earth is very short compared to eternity, and we don't spend a lot of time thinking about eternity and what that looks like.
People get new computers, they get the new iPhones, they upgrade their apps. But when's the last time we upgraded, the technology that's created all of these things?
So I always challenge my audience and people I talk to about, sometimes is there a door in your life you have to close for other doors to open?
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
When we repeat anything, whether it's a constructive good pattern or a destructive bad pattern, our brain reinforces it just like a muscle.
All a belief is a story that you've said over and over again. Maybe you caught it from someone else or you had a specific experience.
Know who you are, know what you want, and make adjustments trying to get there.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
Welcome, everybody. It is now for over 26 years our Free Friday training. Blessed to be involved as the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute. We do trainings on Wednesday and have incorporated it into my Free Friday trainings. And I have my wrong training up here. That's classic. So good. Anyway, today's training is one in which so many people ask me about all the time. And so looking at sleep fitness training, not the fear training that we did on Wednesday, manifesting that the best to our capabilities. So anyways, let's get started. Just as a reminder to everyone, we will be in Chicago, we will be in Vancouver, Minnesota, Atlanta, Nashville, and Orlando. That's what we're doing here for the next 10 days. So if you're in any of those cities, we have meetups, holding courts, speeches, interviews, and VIP dinners in all of those cities. Come and join us at our fire walks and all types of cool shit. Do cool shit with cool people with us. Join our private networking membership group. It's growing exponentially. We love to have you. A bunch of people that are buying from each other, selling for each other, helping one another, and knowing people to help one another. It is the road to revenue training that we are there. The most overlooked superpower of high performers is sleep. Oh, by the way, if you want this guide or exercise today, just email me if you want to come join us in any of those cities: Chicago, Vancouver, Minnesota, Atlanta, Nashville, or Orlando. Come and join us. We're in all those cities with the biggest people and the brightest stars. David at dmeltzer.com. Get your exercises and guides there for free. My books, David at dmeltzer.com. All right, we're going to get started. The most overlooked superpower of high performers: sleep fitness. People ask me all the time how I do what I do and how I get done what I get done and how do I have so much energy. To give you an example, I left on Wednesday morning. I started at 4 a.m. Wednesday morning. It is now Friday at noon. At 4 a.m., did all of my non-negotiable behaviors, meditated, worked out, had a beautiful night's sleep, utilized my 8-sleep bed in order to facilitate proving the REM and the deep sleep that I had, the little bit of snoring that I had, 26 adjustments that the autopilot on my bed had. But I was then able and capable of filming 8 different episodes of Go Fund Yourself, our TV show, Reg CF TV show, in conjunction with Market Live. Stopped by our SoFi Mastermind and then had a VIP dinner, which was oversold, overwhelming, and amazing. And then hurried to the airport on Wednesday night. From 4 a.m., took off at 11:30 p.m. and slept. Woke up in New York City at 7 a.m. and that was yesterday. 7 a.m. went full throttle on all of our different shows, interviews, holding courts, and had a speech at noon with Craig Siegel, and then did a meetup after that. And then we had our meetings with extraordinary friends of ours, and then went to the Junior Achievement function, the VIP dinner there, where I received a great honor, and back to the airport, flew out at 11:30 a.m., slept, and landed in Denver, went to the West End, slept, and then left and was in my office at 9 a.m. here in Orange County, California. So that's how you become a high performer. It's through sleep fitness. Sleep isn't time off. It's the single greatest performance multiplier that is probably neglected. Every championship athlete, billionaire, millionaire, entrepreneur, celebrity athlete and entertainer, market-beating investor, mission-driven entrepreneurs, mentors eventually reaches the same realization: you can't out-hustle a tired brain or a depleted body. You cannot out-hustle a tired brain or a depleted body. You can't outperform if you're living in dis-ease. When you treat sleep as a strategic asset, utilizing mentorship and education, inspiration, intelligence, and intuition, measured, trained, and protected with the same rigor you give your finances or your fitness, your physical fitness, it is amazing the clarity, balance, and focus, the harmony that sharpens, the creativity compounds, and the resilience becomes your default setting. It's amazing. You can't manage what you can't measure. If you think you're managing your sleep without measuring it, you're a fool. This guide will reframe your bedtime into prime time. I'm going to repeat that. This guide and exercise, email me, David at dmeltzer.com. It will reframe your bedtime into prime time. It will equip you with a scoreboard to manage your sleep fitness and score it, giving you 3 foundation principles and pillars and 8 actionable habits, behaviors that turn the rest into your most overlooked superpower. Let's upgrade recovery and access from an afterthought to a competitive edge so you can lead, serve, and live with purpose, prosperity, and peace. So what exactly is sleep fitness? Sleep fitness is that you can't give what you don't have. That's what sleep fitness is. It's the common saying that you can't get what you don't have. It's energy, it's focus, it's resilience are all withdrawals that you take from the sleep bank of what you have. Every elite athlete that I've ever worked with is most interested in recovery and access of inspiration, information, energy. Elite ultra runners that we've worked with, Grayson Murphy logs their and measures their recovery with metrics as religiously, dogmatically as mileage. So many business leaders that I work with must do the same thing with their sleep statistics. You can't manage what you can't measure. Turn that bedtime into prime time. A simple 0 to 1 sleep fitness score turns an abstract habit into a intentional behavior of doing, saying, thinking, feeling, believing that creates actionable KPIs. Pick a tracking tool, any tracking tool. Oura Rings, Whoop, your Apple Watch, your 8 sleep bed. Find your baseline. Just as if we do emotionally, we know our baseline through the stop, drop, and roll methodology, but create a baseline. Study your baseline first. And when you establish that measurement, you can now manage from that measurement by choosing quality, routines, behaviors, total time, minimum times that raise the scores points months by months, which increases your ability to recover and access the inspiration, intuition, and the energy that is infinite, because it stops you from interfering with it mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. You can't outperform a tired mind or a tired body. There has to be a measurement of that fitness. We have to utilize energy, focus, and resilience and fill our bank so we can withdraw it in alignment with where we want to be or better. Understanding the power of an excellent sleep and what an excellent sleep is. The number one piece of advice I have is find a mentor. I've had a sleep coach for 18 years, coming on 19 years, to help facilitate the activities of each day and each night align with where I want to be or better, to provide me that freedom that I can afford financially to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, for as long as I want. But if you don't have the fitness to back it up, you won't be able to do it, even if you can afford it. I see scores in the 90s and higher that correlate with faster reaction time, sharper emotional control, a higher HRV, literal biometrics of high performance that are measurable and manageable. I work with so many sales teams, and ironically, they want to learn the 9-box system. They want to learn the open-ended question guide and the open-minded question guide. They want to learn the 3-no rule and the 25-no rule. And I start with my sales teams to gamify the collective sleep fitness scores and create a winning rate that climbs and grows and accelerates and aggregates into a huge collective consciousness, so that everybody on the team is recovered and accessing the information, inspiration, and energy to become crisper, to have the resilience and energy and focus to be more resourceful, to collaborate, coordinate together, all because everybody is rested and ready. Everybody has recovered and accessed that awareness to make things easy, but also to identify the dis-easy. Chasing a perfect score isn't perfectionism. It's compounding marginal gains every night towards the pursuit of perfectionism with progress. The behavior is defined in good beyond the divine direction. Good meaning in the direction I want to be, bad being interfere with it. And we can do that with an excellent sleep measurement. Create a leaderboard with whatever group it is, your family, your friends, your associates, your business. Opt into this leaderboard. Gamify it. Make it fun. Who has the most power? Who has the most energy and resilience? Celebrate all of the improvements that are made. Celebrate everything that's celebrated, not just the highest scores that are measurable in the sleep fitness group. Pair your sleep wins with measurable business KPIs. For the sake of what am I sleeping? For the sake of being able to take on more meetings, more phone calls, to be able to have a better relationship with those people that I am most relative to, or I associate most with, or that feed me the most or bleed me the most, whatever it may be. We want to be able to utilize the power of an excellent sleep fitness score in order to effectuate that baseline, to know how we are improving, progressing, aggregating, and compounding the KPIs exponentially. When we look at our different mechanisms of measurements, knowing that we can't manage what we can't measure, I use the 8 sleep fitness habits for high achievers in order to facilitate the habit, the behavior, with why it matters, and then what I utilize as a trigger. So many people have asked for this, and I'm happy to send you these habits for high achievers, the behaviors of sleep fitness for high achievers, so you can institute it in your personal and professional life. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. The first habit, the first behavior, sleep cooler. I sleep at 67 degrees. I make sure that my core temperature drops, because dropping my core temperature triggers melatonin naturally. Not taking pills, not injections, but naturally within the homeostasis of my being, in harmony with ease, not dis-ease. I drop my temperature in order to trigger melatonin, and I set my own systems to make sure that I'm at somewhere around 67 degrees. I may drop it to 65 to start, and then elevate it to 67. And then when it's time to wake up at 4 a.m., elevate it to even warmer around 69. So the first behavior is to sleep cooler so that you can trigger the melatonin naturally. The second behavior is optimizing the environment that you sleep in. Make sure that you understand light and the disruption to REM that light will have your REM sleep, but also noise. Make sure that you are in the dark and in the silence so that your REM happens quicker and puts you into a deeper sleep of recovery and access to information. Some of the mechanisms that I use, some of the triggers I use, is making sure that the room is blacked out. And I also have used a white noise app to make sure that I've optimized the environment according to light and noise in order to facilitate an ease in REM sleep. You need at least a minimum of an hour of REM and a minimum of an hour of deep sleep. It really doesn't matter where you are falling, as long as you get at least 5 hours of sleep. 7 hours is optimal. Some people need more determined, some people need less determined about their energetic and genetic inheritance, their code. So the third behavior is to disconnect the mind. I call this more disconnect the brain to connect the mind. We know that the subconscious mind holds 40,000 of the same thoughts. It's activated while we are sleeping. And of those 40,000 thoughts, how many of those are negative, repetitive, even worse? These mental loops lengthen or shorten your sleep latency. Make sure that you utilize an unwinding routine, not just to put the temperature and the environment in the right place, but to disconnect the brain from the mind to allow the mental loops to lengthen your sleep latency. Spend time utilizing journaling or breath work or meditation, or even out music and TV that puts you into a place that disconnects the brain to allow the mind to clear the interference between it and the infinite energy, information, intuition, and inspiration that it's connected to and through all day long and all night long. The fourth behavior, so many people have asked me for these, so remember, please just reach out if you want these, is to exercise early. You know, late night hit trainings elevates your cortisol. You need to finish your workouts at least 3 hours before bed. Same thing with caffeine, drugs, other things. You got to make sure that you give the biochemical and bioanatomical reactions determined upon your energetic and genetic inheritance to dissipate enough to get into the place where you can take advantage of the cooler sleep, the optimized environment, and the disconnected brain so the mind can access the infinite. Exercise early is a great way, besides giving physical exhaustion, which is absolutely a benefit. The fifth behavior in sleep fitness and allowing us to put ourselves in the position to recover and access at its greatest potential, mind, body, and soul, is my favorite superpower of the superpower of sleep. It's also my superpower of being awake, and it's consistency. You got to stay consistent. People worry about me traveling in the jet lag, and because I've had the sleep coach for so many years, I can go in the last 48 hours and fly the red eye to New York, land at 7 a.m. and fly out at 11:30 p.m. to land in Denver at 1:30 a.m. and then leave at, which would be California time, 6 a.m. and land here at 8 and be in the office by 9. But it's not that jet lag that gets people. It's the social jet lag that kills the hypnotic rhythm that's created by positivity. You're interfering with the positivity, the rhythm of your life. Social jet lag is far more interfering than jet lag itself. It is consistency that dissipates the jet lag, that allows for this unbelievable clearance between you and the infinite energy, inspiration, intuition, and will keep this identical sleep and wake times on weekdays and weekends. And I live on East Coast time. I wake up no matter where I am in reason, 7 a.m. Eastern time. If I'm in London or I'm in California, 7 a.m. If I go beyond into reverse, then I use my own coach to help facilitate, and I try to shorten the amount of time or lengthen the amount of time in a new sleep environment, but stay consistent. Don't create social jet lag. It will kill the hypnotic rhythm that's necessary to allow you to access the unbelievable infinite that we are connected to and through. It will dissipate the interference by staying consistent when you're awake and asleep. All right. The sixth habit, the behavior, is give time. Short sleep windows, quote unquote, cut cycles short. We need to block out from the unwinding routine until the time we awake a window of sleep on the calendar, a non-negotiable. It's my number one non-negotiable, a minimum of 7 hours of sleep every single day. And if I miss a day because of an exigent circumstance, I don't stack 2 L's. I make sure it becomes an ultra non-negotiable the next day. You got to block it out. Minimum amount of time. It has to be a non-negotiable every single time. It is give time. If you cut those windows, this is a habit you do not want. You are affecting your information, intuition, inspiration, and energy. Make sure you have a long, unwinding routine to wake up time, a minimum amount of time, a big window on the calendar, and stay consistent with it. Give time to your sleep. Give it up, baby. The behavior is most important. The seventh behavior in sleep fitness: avoid stimulants altogether, but especially after mid-afternoon. Caffeine, alcohol, drugs, they fragment these stages. They're worse than giving small windows of sleep. It is a detriment. These stimulus, they create extreme habits in you that interfere with the information, intuition, inspiration, and energy that is given to you every day that you're interfering with. Stop the intake of any of these different stimulants by mid-afternoon, and at least, and I'll repeat, at least 4 hours before your unwinding routine. Avoid stimulants. If you're going to take them early, just like working out. Do it early. Get that body moving until it just wears itself out of all its energy to put itself in a place of recovery and access that you will take advantage of in your recovery and access, in your performance, in your sleep fitness, the manageable and measurable scores. And then finally, the last behavior. Go ahead. If you're restless, start over. Get up. Get up. We want the bed to be a cue to performance, a cue to recovery and access of information, inspiration, intuition, and energy. We do not want it to become a cue for worry, anxiety, resentment, guilt, separation, anger, frustration. So if you're feeling any of these responses to fear, leave the bed after 20 minutes of feeling restless, and then go do something not stimulating and return when you're sleepy, and it won't take long. But don't sit in bed and let things grow arms and legs and accelerate in the wrong direction. Don't take any stimuli, but go ahead and work on get out of bed, place yourself in a position to unwind again and start over. These are the 8 habits of high achieving sleep. Sleep cooler, optimize your environment, disconnect the brain to connect the mind better, exercise early, stay consistent, give more time to sleep, avoid stimulants, and get up if you're restless. I'll be happy to send those to you. It'll change your life because you will recover and access the information easier and better. I use, as you could tell, in order to be consistent, the 5 daily practices to accelerate, grow, aggregate in a divine direction, my sleep fitness. Each day it becomes a non-negotiable behavior of this is what I want, who it will help, who can I help, how best to do it, doing it now, prioritizing it according to the pre-prioritization, but also post-prioritization that's necessary if circumstances arrive. It is powered, and you are powered, or you are poisoned by your previous night's sleep. So many leaders that I coach have high sleep scores. They have a capability to frame problems and find the solutions without a variable lapse of time and create and see opportunities by what others see as punishment. Finding light, love, and lesson. A sleep-deprived leader, their peers perceive feedback as threats, as interference, as a need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, and resentful. My lowest moment in the last 5 years was when I put myself in a position of sleep deprivation and tried to extend myself, and I ended up acting like an asshole. Now, people around me may still think I'm an asshole, and fair enough for the snapshots that they have, but I'm human. And when human beings don't get enough sleep, they become a threat to the threats because of the way they react to the feedback of those threats. Sleep turns purpose into performance. Without it, even a strong for the sake of what erodes. Even the strongest, highest performing people erode. It is a dis-ease that can create an acceleration in the wrong direction and create the wrong outcomes. In the morning, make sure you review your scores and manage your own measurements to adjust accordingly to the intensity. In the midday, go ahead and take a break off. There's a reason people nap in the afternoon in so many different societies. Natural light, get the circadian rhythm back into that hypnotic rhythm state, aligning it with where you want to be or better. Take a break. It doesn't have to be long. I vacation every day, a minimum of 10 minutes, usually midday. And then in the evening, as we have the reflections of all the rejections that needed redirection, we reflect on how the quality of our sleep fueled the emotional, educational, the mindset, heart set, and handset, the purpose, and then we make a recommitment because we know that the mistakes will keep on coming. As long as we don't lack commitment, we're going to get to where we want to be faster and better. The last lesson, which all of these are available for you, david@dmeltzer.com, is something that's applicable to yesterday as I won that Lifetime Legacy Leadership Achievement Award, the highest honor from Junior Achievement, who we were nominated as the Nobel Peace Prize winner for the 3rd year in a row. I thought to myself, this legacy honor means 2 things. 1, I'm old. And 2, it is my legacy of rest, of sleep that has gotten me to a place where I can impact so many millions of people and be recognized and acknowledged for what little I've done or how it's impacting them. So many people suffer from burnout. They ask about burnout. Burnout's going to build nothing that lasts. Energy, emotion, the energy in motion is the currency of impact. And sleep mints that currency nightly. That's all I was thinking in the Lifetime Legacy Leadership Achievement Award, that my sleep has minted the currency, that currency of impact. in alignment with my mission of doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing, and the mission of empowering all of you to empower 1,000, to empower 1,000, so we can have a collective consciousness of happiness, of making a lot of money, living in abundance, in an infinite, abundant, unified system of thought, helping a lot of people and having a lot of fun. I've been blessed to work closely with the Pro Football Hall of Fame and many Hall of Famers, executives, creators, billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs, and they all share one trait. They have a disciplined behavioral routine of recovery that outlasts the accolades. I celebrate the sleep. I celebrate the sleep that mints the currency that I have nightly, the currency of impact, not the burnout that builds nothing that lasts. Like anything else, we need to learn to receive and ask for more. And I can't tell you how many people think that sleep is selfish. Sleep is not selfless. It's selfish. It's selfless, because you can't give what you don't have, as we mentioned earlier. Sleep isn't selfish. It's service. It's selfless. It's you recharging yourself for a greater performance by recovering an access that is given to it each night to provide you a bigger tomorrow, to give a bigger tomorrow, to be given a bigger tomorrow, to receive a bigger tomorrow, and ask for a bigger tomorrow the next day. You must declare that sleep's a non-negotiable. A non-negotiable, no matter what the circumstances of the day. I'm going to sleep a minimum of 7 hours at my highest capacity, determined upon the circumstances of the day, and be kind to your future self in this way. Teach others, empower others in the mission. My number one non-negotiable of sleep, then health, then family, then finance, then faith, then the study of time and relativity, time being the incremental usage of the 24 hours a day, including my sleep, and relativity giving meaning to it aligned with my divine direction. Create these teams, help other people with the recovery and access that they are part and parcel of in this unified system of thought. Remember, you can't manage what you can't measure. So you need to audit those measurements and to ensure major launches are preceded by peak recovery and access. Like I said, sleep is my number one non-negotiable. We need to have sleep fitness. We need to have a score, a measurable, manageable score. Use the 8 behaviors: sleep, cooler, optimize environment, disconnect the brain, utilize the mind, exercise early, stay consistent, give time to sleep, avoid stimulants, and get up if you're restless. And these 5 daily practices with those behaviors, utilizing for the sake of what, who I can help, who can help me, how, doing it now, and applying our why of recovery and access to information in the infinite level. And you will have a legacy of rest, a selfless service of rest, so that you can be more every single day. Legacy is built on sustainability. Legacy is built on sustained energy. I've been volunteering and working with and being a student of junior achievement for 47 years. It's not a heroic sprint followed by a burnout. High performers who master anything, especially sleep fitness, discover an unfair advantage, consistent renewable power to think bigger, decide faster, inspire longer. Commit to the outline of these behaviors today. Utilize cooler sleep environments, discipline routines, stimulant cutoffs, data-driven tracking. Watch your fitness mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally climb alongside that sustainable impact, that unbelievable legacy. Remember, every great performance begins the night before. My habit machine starts the night before. My tomorrow starts the night before with an unwinding routine. I protect my pillow the way champions protect game day. I want to be in the Pro Sleeping Hall of Fame as much as I used to want to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I wake up each morning with clarity, balance, focus, confidence, capacity, purpose, passion, and my day is profitable because I experience my human experience in a world that is my very best, because I figured out what I'm doing to interfere with my rest. This has been one of my favorite trainings because it's so important. It's my number one non-negotiable, the most overlooked superpower of high performers, sleep. Please reach out to me, get the guide, the exercises, the book on sleep, get a sleep coach, join me in our networking group. We have people here that can help us all recover and access information, inspiration, intelligence in a unified, abundant system of wanting to help each other and knowing people to help each other. David at dmeltzer.com. I'll be in a city near you. I guarantee that very soon. We will be in Chicago, then Vancouver, Minnesota, Atlanta, Nashville, and Orlando. And we're going to keep on going. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for reaching out and acknowledging me on the Lifetime Legacy Leadership Award. What a great surprise. I want to thank especially Marissa and Nick for that unbelievable evening and surprise, and Ashish and my crew at the Junior Achievement. Congratulations on their third nomination of a World Nobel Peace Prize. That's not easy to be nominated for. And I'm just so blessed to be a part of it. All right, Nick of the Wammer. I think we're going to take questions, if I'm not mistaken, here on over 26 years of training. Nick of Wammer, what do you have to say? I don't know what he's saying because he's muted, but am I supposed to have you up here, Nick?
Absolutely. I would be more than happy to help, just helping some of our community members in Chicago on the other line as we speak. I see Colleen actually has the first question here as it's coming in through the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that up, and then I'll be ready to rock and roll afterwards. Does that sound fair?
I love the fact that you're making phone calls and doing this for me. That's making my heart sing. You're taking your whole experience to the next level. I'm proud of you. All right, Colleen, what do you got for me?
Here we go.
Do you adapt to these principles with purpose or out of pressure? I don't do anything out of pressure. I do what I want, when I want, with who I want, for as long as I want. And so for me, I'm always looking not at the pressure or I'll be happy when the outcome. Too many people are making decisions in their life, outcome-based decisions or pressure-based, fear-based decisions. I make my decisions based off of the way I'm reacting to the pressure, reacting to the fear, and then tying in for the sake of what? For the sake of who? For the sake of how? For the sake of now? And for the sake of why? When I ask myself, I'll be happy when I make $100 million. No, it's when I make $100 million for the sake of changing the world, I will be happy. In that lies the difference of pressure and outcome versus purpose. We use the purpose, the passion, and the possibility of how we react to the pressure and the outcomes in order to facilitate, to make easy the purpose, to apply our why, to align it with where we want to be or better. We want to make sure that we are firm in our understanding in the paradigm shift of I am, this is what I'm doing to interfere with it. And one of those things is sleep for the sake of recovery and access, for the sake of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, for the sake of my legacy, whatever it is, but it's not pressure and it's not outcome based. What a terrific question. Thank you so much, Colleen. I appreciate you. Nick of Wam.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Absolutely. So for our next question, we're getting swifty because, of course, we're going to Chicago on Monday. We got Brian Swift with the next question, so bringing his in now.
Thank you, Brian Swift. I appreciate your question. David, how many coaches do you have? Well, it changes determined upon what team I'm playing on. And my teams are teams of subject matter topics and expertise. And I pick and choose what position I'm going to play on the team. But then every team I play on, according to subject matter topics and expertise, I have mentors, maybe one or more within that team. And I also mentor one or more within that team as well. So I have a sleep coach. I have a nutrition coach. The main coaches beyond the teams are all based off of the necessity that God has indicated to me, the priorities that God, when I say God, I'm talking about your God, not my God. So whatever your God is, I'm cool with that, not my God. But your God has said these are the most important things, and you should, on the most important things, utilize the fastest way to get to where you want to be in that divine direction, or even better. So he said, first, if you don't sleep, you're going to die. So I got a sleep coach. He then said, if you ain't going to eat, you're going to die. So I got an eating coach, a nutrition coach. Then he said, if you don't drink, you're going to die. So I got a hydration coach. Then he said, if you don't breathe, you're going to die. So I got a breathing coach. Then he said, if you don't move, you're going to die. So I got a moving coach, a movement coach. And so for me, I take those necessities that were given to your God to teach all of us what we need to do to extend our human experience. Human experience is based off of the time I start my heart till the time it stops. It's separated by an incremental consciousness of human experience of 24 hours. I divide my 24 hours into non-negotiable, hybrid negotiable, and negotiable activities. Planned, unplanned, paid for, unpaid for, and sleep. Utilizing a minimum amount of time each day, being able to add more time according to the circumstances of the day, creating a relativity with my time, a meaning with my time in that relativity of meaning with the activities of the day according to the circumstances or not, as my non-negotiables are non-circumstantial. I'm going to get a minimum amount of sleep, minimum amount of time on my own health, minimum of time with my family, minimum of time on my faith, minimum of time on my finance, minimum of time studying time, and studying the meaning I give it, aligned with the intentions that I have, knowing the mathematical equation of luck is still what I pay attention to in those non-negotiable, hybrid negotiable, negotiable behaviors, plus how I behave in that intention, doing, saying, thinking, feeling, believing. What I pay attention to and what I give intention to equals the coinciding of the universe, the coincidences, the outcomes that I desire or better, making every rejection a redirection in my protection, promotion, love, and perfection, allowing me to experience the divine time while I'm having this human experience, and intertwining the humility of a tranquil human experience, the tranquility of humanity, of humility, reminding myself, recollecting, and remembering at all times I'm either humble or I'm about to be. Where are the lessons that lay within the problem? Because I know those lessons are one with the problem, and so is the solution. It's just a man-made construct of time, a lapse of time until I can find or seek all that I'm given, the light, the love, and the lessons in that problem. Don't waste the struggle. Find the light, the love, and the lessons, and undo the puzzle. All right. Very good. What's up?
What's up, Mr. Melster? How are we?
I'm phenomenal, man.
I love it. All right. We got our next question from your two favorite letters in the alphabet, which is GG. So bringing that in live, as she is asking, why does hustle culture celebrate sleepless nights when science shows that sleep is the real superpower behind peak performance?
I love that question. And just so you know, and I'm going to cancel it before I say it and cancel it after I say it. But I used to always say, when I was in the hustle culture, there's enough time to sleep when I'm dead. Cancel. Well, there's no better way to die than not to sleep. I promise you. So there was kind of a ironic humor intertwined in that saying that I hear the hustle culture preach. Look, there's no doubt that you can't give what you don't have. And if you want to give the most to yourself, where we can access the infinite amount of energy and information and inspiration and intuition is while we sleep, disconnecting the brain from the mind and being able to access all of those with all of these different behaviors in which we talked about today. So I know certain things are counterintuitive, but remember, when you study the Tao, when you study Lao Tzu, when we study the art of war, when we study any type of philosophy of understanding the oneness, if there is oneness, then everything has two sides. Everything has two sides. Have you ever flipped a coin and it only had one side? Have you ever written on a piece of paper and it only had one side? Hustle has two sides as well. And the culture of hustle has two sides, and so does sleep. So if you want to experience the yin and the yang, if you want to experience the whole, then you got to figure out what you're doing to interfere with the whole, not depend or to focus in only on one side, because everything has two sides. And so as we look to see how science shows that sleep is the real superpower behind peak performance, it is obvious that if you recover, you perform better. If you have infinite energy, infinite information, infinite intuition, if you have infinite intelligence, or if you have more of it, you're going to perform better. And that's exactly what happens when you stop telling yourself dumb shit and start sleeping with a coach, a mentorship, or guides or exercises from people that are already there that can give you directions. I've been doing it for almost 19 years, over 18 years, and I continue to do it for that very reason. All right, Womness, we're in the final quarter. Hold up the number 4. It's going to be there in the NBA as we're getting to game 6s and 7s in the Eastern Conference Final and the Western Conference Final. I want to give a big shout out to Eric Lohr, the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves, who hosted me last night, inspired me last night, shared a stage with me last night, and honored me along with Ashish there at the Junior Achievement Award ceremony at that unbelievable penthouse. And by the way, my favorite part of last night, Nick, is we raised over $200,000. And $200,000 is going to go a long way to help entrepreneurs 5 years old to 25 years old. We can support those kids to change and even save the world, as I believe. As so, same as the Nobel Peace Prize believes that it's these entrepreneurs 5 to 25 that we support, over 100 million alumni, that are going to save the world. That's why we got nominated for the 3rd straight years, and some hopefully this year we'll win. But go ahead, the WOM.
All right, we got our next question, which I know you've definitely been asked before and is one of your favorites, and this is coming from William, and he's asking, what could be some reasons for sleeping but still waking up tired?
Well, to me, that's the greatest joke of all time, is that most people on earth go to bed at night and wake up more tired. That's like every day you eating a huge meal for dinner, and when you're done, being more hungry. It's instant and obvious that you would say there's something wrong with what I ate or something wrong with me if I'm still hungry after I just pigged out for 7 hours, 8 hours. Why is it when we sleep for 7 or 8 hours? How is it that when we sleep for 7 or 8 hours, 9 hours or 10 hours, we're more tired? We would think something's wrong if we're more hungry, but nobody thinks anything's wrong when we're more tired. And so these 8 behaviors that I gave you will be a great starting point for everyone to get that guide and to start practicing it, knowing that practice makes progress. Preparation, pre-prioritization will create a great comfort level, confidence in what you do, a better performance of what we do, because it dissipates the dis-ease that we create in the context of that interference. And so I want everyone to think about it next time that you're tired. What that means. It means you need help. It means you need help because you're interfering with your peak performance, with your infinite amount of energy, access, information, intelligence, and intuition. Do not go to bed at night for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours and wake up more tired. Remind yourself that would be like eating and being more hungry. It just shouldn't happen. You got to get some mentorship, some help. So thank you so much, and appreciate that, William. Nick of Wom, what do you got for me?
I got another question for you, and this is coming from Wayne Brown, and he's asking how would you advise managing interrupted sleep cycles while managing family life and business life and personal life and the circumstances of today?
Yeah, so don't try to balance your time. Try to harmonize your time. Julie, I'm on my training. Hi. It's okay. Julie's here. She's a champion tennis player.
Champion.
I've got a trophy for you.
What?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's at the office.
Oh.
All right. Oh. And there it is. All right. So harmony is what we look for, which is why I let my wife interrupt my trainings, because I really want harmony in my life, and she is a non-negotiable priority in my life. And as you see, managing family life, business life, personal life, no such thing. They're all harmoniously working together. If my personal life sucks, or my family life sucks, or my business life, that doesn't make any sense. My life is awesome. I have certain personal activities, business activities, and family activities that may not go as I desire, or there may not be any evidence that it's going to go as I desire, or the evidence may be contrary to where I want to be or better or where I desire. And so any interruption is a recalibration to go ahead and start over within the context of our objective, which is to cover and access information. So what happens is a lot of times when we're interrupted, it's not the interruption that causes the disruption, it's the disruption from the interruption that caused the disruption. And so if we can react to the interruption at ease, we'll be able to facilitate a harmonious management of family, business, and personal activities with the context of our whole life, which is part and parcel of the infinite life. The human life is from the time your heart starts till the time it stops. It's incrementally separated by 24 hours. Those all can be interrupted. The totality of infinite interruption within the context of interruption redefines interruption as harmony, because it's just a series of interruptions when you look at things in the concept of the infinite. And so let's focus in on not separating our lives, but taking things within the context of relativity and time and seeing how we are disrupted by the interrupted. And then utilize to shorten the distance of resistance that's created by the disruption from the interruption, to shorten that distance with wisdom and faith. Wisdom from mentorship, coaching, and teaching, and faith that although there's no evidence or the evidence is contrary to where I want to be, I know I'm being protected, promoted, loved, and perfected in the pursuit of my potential. These types of disruptions created by interruptions go far beyond sleep. It goes into all aspects of all activities of our divine direction, of good behavior, defined as behavior aligned with where I want to be or better, or bad behavior defined as that which interferes with it. And we don't allow the interruptions to cause disruption. The interruptions allow us to reset at a baseline in order to roll in the right trajectory. So I would advise you to analyze the disruption of the interruption, not worrying about the interruption, and then create a whole harmony of your activities, personal, family, and professional, within one life that is protected, promoted, loved, and perfected by the oneness of all, the infinite, abundant, unified system of thought. All right. Nick Avam, you get a whole bunch of FaceTime today. It's good to see you.
I love it. I'm having a ton of fun, as always, with you. And our next question is coming from the Meltzer double. No family affiliation, but we got to show some love to Eric Meltzer. And I've actually, it's funny because I read this question and it's like, man, it's something that's been staring me in the face and I've never asked it of you. And that question is how do you identify a high quality sleep coach? Like, what are the questions that you're asking and how do you go through that vetting process?
That is a really good question. I think it stems on how I would find any coach, mentor, or teacher. And I think the first thing is to look for what you're looking for, and understand that this ubiquitous title of coach is confusing. And so let me define how I identify the quality of coach, quote unquote, that I'm looking for. First, am I looking for someone that's already there and can just give me directions? Or am I looking for someone that can teach me how to get there from somebody else's directions? Or am I just looking for someone to bring the best out of me? And so when I'm qualifying the capability of a coach, mentor, or teacher within the context of these three different ways, or some combination in percentages of focus thereof, now at least I have a framework and evaluation tool in order to facilitate, to make easy my choice. And the questions that I'm going to ask are pertaining to whether it's, hey, where are you today with your sleep? and how do I get there? Or can you teach me how to get to the Hall of Famer of sleep, David Meltzer? Can you give and teach me the directions and behaviors that he uses and work with me? Or I get it. I just need someone to bring the best out of me because I already am Tiger Woods, but I'm not shooting as low as I should. Can you bring the best out of me? I already know how to swing. I know how to play. I'm really good at it. I'm really good at sleep, but can you help me bring the best out of you because I'm not practicing it correctly? And so in order to identify whatever high quality coach you're looking for, make sure that you are in your own framework of what percentage of bringing the best out of you, teaching the steps, or just giving the steps because I'm already there. And then asking questions pertaining to the alignment of the percentage or importance of each and every one of these within the context of what you're looking to be or where you're looking to be or better. I think that's a great question. Hopefully we recorded that because I think we did. Because I can use that to help people even greater in finding the mentorship coaching, which is, by the way, one of the most important things in my own business is mentorship, coaching, teaching, mentorship. One of the most, I prioritize it. I incentivize it. That's how important it is, as Nick knows. Okay.
We got the curtain call in the fourth quarter with our last question of the day. This is coming from Joanna Kern, and she is asking, what are some best practices when you lose a good night's sleep to recover and not lose productivity for the day?
What a great question. So life happens, and one of the difficult things about teaching people is they over exaggerate. They either think you're better than you are or worse than you are. And it's a terrible snapshot of yourself. And that's why we don't look to what other people think or what we want them to think. We only think about what is inside of us because we're going to get into real big trouble and have to institute forgiveness when we're thinking what other people think, especially if we're thinking what they think of us. And so within the context of understanding this idea that we're human and we're going to not be as productive and accessible at all times, and shit happens, put it this way, you go to bed perfectly at 9 o'clock and then there's an emergency at midnight and you have to rush to somewhere to go help somebody else and you're not home till 5 a.m. Well, it's already the next day. You screwed up your sleep. And so number one, we want to perform at our highest level and be productive for that day. So you may want to take a nap, or you may want to lessen the intensity, or you may want to power through and try to burn yourself out. Each will have a different impact and outcome. But the main lesson isn't just the productivity of a day when you miss sleep or aren't hitting your objectives in any of the activities or non-negotiable behaviors that you may prioritize in your life with your God. But more importantly, it's you can't stack the L's. You can't do it. If sleep's going to be your non-negotiable, you will have bad days of sleep. You will not do or have the behaviors that are necessary in order to get you to where you want to be or better every single day. But the minute you do it day two, the minute you stack the L's in whatever non-negotiable activity it is, you are starting a bad habit. One time it's a mistake, it's an interruption. And once again, how we disrupt our lives from one interruption is one thing. When we allow it to disrupt our lives 2 days, it now becomes a habit. And we're starting a behavior that's going to take us to somewhere we don't want to be. It's going to create more interference. It's called a bad behavior. It's interfering with where we want to be. And so the bigger and more important things, other than the accommodation and the adaptation to a missed night's sleep, the most important thing is don't stack the L's. We stack W's. It compounds, accelerates, it aggregates what we want, recovery and access to the information, intuition, inspiration, etc., to allow us to pursue our potential. That has been the sleep fitness training. The superpower that's most overlooked in the world is sleep. If you would like the exercises, guys, the book, david@dmeltzer.com. I'm going to be in Chicago, then Vancouver, then Minnesota, then Atlanta, then Nashville, then Orlando. Holy moly. That's just in 10 days. So let's make it happen, everybody. Come and join us. We have meetups, holding courts, VIP dinners, speeches, interviews, TV shows. They're all there, and masterminds. All you got to do is join us, david@dmeltzer.com. If you're around any of those cities, want to fly into one of those cities, just go ahead, email me, get the guide, exercises, and books, david@dmeltzer.com. We have thousands of people in our private networking group, qualified members, curated members that want to help each other and know people that help each other. It's a guaranteed community. So we curate it. If you can't afford it, don't join. If you don't believe the guarantee, don't join. If you don't want to be invited to over 200 different unbelievably cool things that we do, don't text me. Don't join. But if you like to text me, 949-298-2905, you'll be invited to some cool shit with some cool people. All right, everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Once again, over 26 years of training, remember, most importantly, to be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Hit it, Gigi.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
And I think love is the answer to everything as well. Love and compassion and justice and fairness, and which are all aspects of love.
The most important question anybody can ask is, what would I do and love every day, even if I were failing?
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
And the reality is, life here on Earth is very short compared to eternity, and we don't spend a lot of time thinking about eternity and what that looks like.
People get new computers, they get new iPhones, they upgrade their apps. But when's the last time we upgraded, the technology that's created all of these things?
So I always challenge my audience and people I talk to about, sometimes is there a door in your life you have to close for other doors to open?
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
When we repeat anything, whether it's a constructive good pattern or a destructive bad pattern, our brain reinforces it just like a muscle.
All a belief is a story that you've said over and over again. Maybe you caught it from someone else or you had a specific experience.
Know who you are, know what you want, and make adjustments trying to get there.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.